Howdy folks, welcome back to Shallow Pockets Acres. This is a blueberry patch trail cam. Got a doe in here feeding from May to sometime in July. I'm slowly getting around to checking my cameras again here. Got some checked in September and still trying to check a few here in October yet to get everything else checked again, and trying to get some videos put together. And down a little one in there feeding, or maybe a doe and a yearling at that point. That kind of looks like a fawn following her around in there. And I have noticed again this year we had an earlier crop of fawns and then we had a later crop of fawns again. Had some born in the May time frame, it looks like, and then again along about July we had some other ones, it looks like, again. Another doe in there feeding at night. I don't know if I bought a batch of bad batteries when I was changing the batteries earlier in the year or not, but a couple of my cameras seem to have dead batteries every time that I've went and checked them this year. Now, a few more deer in there feeding together. And then I did have the trail camera in behind my tree stand. I found laying on the ground. I think I may have mentioned it in the last video I put together. And the batteries were dead in it again. I know I'd changed them earlier in the year, and then I checked the camera this evening, which is October 1st, at the one that's above, on the fire pit trail up above, which is out from this one in the blueberry patch. And I found the batteries dead in it again. And then also I checked the one out from the picnic table and the batteries were dead in it again. I don't know if I just got a bad pack of batteries the last time I bought at Sam's Club or what, but I didn't get any pictures on the camera out from the picnic table all summer long. And I don't know, I haven't checked the one from the old fire pit trail, the top of it, yet. I haven't checked that camera card yet. I just brought the camera down home with me today whenever I checked it, and haven't looked at it. Get in the house and got a few things done in the house and got my shower for the night, and thought I'd throw a couple or get a couple of videos narrated that I did have thrown together, and maybe put another one together yet tonight. Have to wait and see what for time I have, because this one I put together a couple of days ago and I'm just now getting around to narrating it. Another doe in there feeding during the daytime. And I also cleaned up a little brush today whenever I was up there. Some of the stuff I cut out from around chestnut trees, and the grandson put a tree stand up down in that area last year. So I did get some of the brush knocked down around the tree stand and along with the chestnut trees, and I got it up some more tonight. From what little bit I have knocked down the last couple within the last month now. Because I think I had all that stuff knocked down before I left for the Benazet trip, and we're a week after the Benazet trip, or maybe 2 weeks now, and I just finally got back up and got most of the brush gathered up now. I still don't have it all gathered up, but more of it, to where at least it is huntable here. So I think it is this Saturday, the 4th of October, the archery season starts in Pennsylvania. And I definitely got to get back up after hunting season and trim out some trees, because I do have another white oak coming that I planted probably 8 years ago that the deer had ate off, but I stuck a cage around it anyhow, and it's still coming, so I need to get the birch thinned out around it to where it can grow more. And there's another one that I knew was still in there that I need to trim around again. I haven't done it for a couple years, but another doe in there feeding around in the daytime. And looking at that there in the last daylight video of the blueberry patch here, it looks like I need to go through and do some trimming on it again to get some new growth and to get to where I can walk the trails in it without making a bunch of noise during hunting season. We had several does, although most of them was at night in there walking through or feeding. But there are some that come through during the daylight. And I may have to throw a tree stand in that group of maples coming up in front of that doe there, because there's been a trail that goes straight back through there ever since I bought the ground. There's a little fawn in there. And I don't know what the time period is when that video was taken, but it's a little later in the year now. I feel we're well past May now. And I need to get a couple of the other cameras checked to look at these fawns, because I'm sure we've got some fawns without spots by now, and some that still are pretty small and have spots yet too. And we spent this past Monday night at the cabin. Me and my wife and my mom and Barry ended up coming up. We had a campfire going and done some hot dogs over the fire, and Mom took something into the cabin right about dark or sundown, or however you want to look at it, and as she was coming out the door of the cabin, there was a bear coming up through the woods a little bit out to the left of the cabin, that she got to see her first bear on the mountain, because she hasn't seen a bear whenever she's been up there yet. Here we have the doe and the fawn in there, the littler fawn. And then the fawn just taking its time following Mom out through there. Or maybe the fawn, as it was getting bigger and was off on its own that day. We got a doe coming back through. And another doe wandering through there at night. And then we got a couple of deer in here feeding this night. And I'm thinking the other camera I need to check, but I got to get some videos put on some other ones, but I don't think I checked the one watching the driveway lately. I think the one behind the cabin I did check, and I think the batteries were dead in it. And I need to get those two checked here the next time I'm up and get the chance to. Because today I just put new batteries in the one out from the picnic table and put the card back in it, so it should be good to go. And then this one here itself, I need to check it again because I think this is only good to July, so I haven't checked it since sometime in July. But we did have some does in here feeding all summer long, it looks like. The fawn sneaking out of right there. Another doe in there feeding. I don't know if the fawn's with her or not for sure. If that's a mama or not. Doe in there in the daylight. And I don't know if that's a different one or the same one that's circling. No, that's one with fawn, so. Where they're going down through the trail that I have cut down through, or pretty close to it, is where they're feeding at now. Another doe in here in the dark, it looks like. A smaller doe in there feeding, and I don't know if that's the same time period or not, the same day or not. doe wandering through either in the early morning or late evening. Another one through in the daytime. And another one looking like it's going to head down through my path. I got cut down through the blueberry in behind the tree stand there. And another one up through by the camera. And then I think that's a bobcat going through. I don't think that's a fawn. I think that's a bobcat going through the trail that's cut back through there. That's why I say I need to get some of this knocked down a little lower. And we got a mom and a little one in there. And I think I'm going to move this camera to that set of maple trees where that doe's at now. Because in the past I had them hanging in that direction. I like the videos I get from that way more so than where I have the camera hanging now. A few more doe in here. Mom and the little one back. And wandering down through the trail I cut down through the mountain laurel back there. Another deer moseying right through. Another coming right through right by the camera. One there off to the right of the stream they're coming. Another thing I need to get done is get up there and get some trees knocked down by my pear, where I planted my new pear tree this year, to where it gets some more sunlight next year. fawn come running through there past the camera. Another doe in there feeding around. Another doe coming through in the daytime. Another one. And it looks to me like all our deer are in good shape, because there are some people saying about some does that's died from chronic wasting, it sounds like, and everything looks to be in pretty good shape up on mine. And there's a bigger fawn and a littler fawn. Thanks for watching.